failure isn't just an option, it's a necessity, right? Like you have to be able to fail. You have to be okay failing. And if you're not in an environment that fosters your ability to fail, you do get in trouble, right? Because the answer then is I can only provide work, or I can only produce art, or I can only do something that is good. And if it's not good, then the answer is, well, then I just won't do it.
Eric Gallegos built a high valuation company in the dental space from absolutely nothing. Second generation immigrant, raised in the Valley here in Texas, the kind of resume that's supposed to be the whole story. Then last year, he had an awakening, and everything he thought he was building towards started to look different. Today, we're talking about what epiphanies this last year has brought him, and how he approaches work and relationships differently as a result. We will also discuss the quiet disconnect between men and women right now. We're talking about what it actually costs to live authentically and follow your true path. I'm Nicole Tudus, and this is Becoming, a collective of soul-led journeys. I'm honored to be sitting with Eric Gallegos, and I cannot wait for you to hear his journey. Hi there, I'm Nicole Tudus, and this is Becoming, a collective of soul-led journeys. Today, I am so excited to have with me my friend Eric Gallegos.
I'm happy to be here. How exciting.
And we're going to be discussing his soul journey and how he has had an awakening in the last year and how that has impacted his life. Eric, I'm so excited to be sitting here with you today.
I'm so lucky to be here. This is a great space.
And you were just like coming through town conveniently,
Yes.
So we were able to make this work.
Yeah.
Welcome to the sanctuary. So before we dive in, I would say a couple weeks ago, you reached out to me and you said, hey, I'm going to be in San Antonio.
Yep.
Do you have time to connect? Let's
Yes.
go to dinner.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Okay.
Yep.
And of course you do, right? Because it was so fun. And we went to dinner and the conversation just was so fulfilling and rewarding. And we both left dinner going, we need to share this conversation with more people.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was good, right?
Yeah.
I left so invigorated. I hope you did too.
It was really, really fun.
So my first question is a question I ask all my guests, okay? Which is there a milestone moment in your life in which you gained a piece of wisdom that you continue to lean on throughout your life and today, regardless of the circumstances?
Look, I think we all grow up, we're living our lives, we're trying to figure out how to be adults. And I'll tell you a quick story. It's a funny story. Or maybe it's not, maybe it's embarrassing. I called my dad one time and I asked him for $100. I said, hey, can I have $100? And he's like, you make X amount of dollars. Like, why do you need $100? And I was just like, well, he's like, you're just going to go drink it. You're just going to go buy beer. He's like, no, I'm not giving you $100. I was like a young adult. I'm like mid-20s. I'm doing pretty well. But I think the thing I learned from it is you have to be able to depend on yourself. Mm-hmm. You can't ask for handouts. You have to be in a position where you can not only take care of yourself, but that you can provide. And I think that's really driven me for a really long time, right? It got me to where I was last year. And then I think you take from that and you learn oh, wait, that can't be the only thing, right? But at the time, it was something that it kind of changed my life, right? When do you become a child and when do you become a man? Mm-hmm. And that was the last time I reached out to my parents for anything. There's people who will always support you, right? I think in different ways. Mm-hmm. And I think what ends up happening is we get in such a place where we want to support ourselves that we forget to ask for help.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a weird thing that cuts both ways, right? Mm-hmm. It's you want to be able to support yourself. You want to be able to provide. You want to be able to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. But you also have to, and I learned this a lot last year, you have to be able to tell your friends, dude, I'm vulnerable. I'm in a bad place. Will you listen? I think a lot of times if you're high achiever or have a problem saying no to work, right? It's you're doing so much. You just forget to stop and realize that there are people around you that are willing to help you. I don't mean a handout, but just support.
Okay, Eric. So one of the topics of discussion at dinner the other night was your background and where you came from. And you grew up, you're a second generation Mexican American immigrant.
Yes.
And you grew up in McAllen, Texas, which is here in the Valley, down south.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about, as a kid, standing where you were standing, what did making it look like to you? What did your dreams look like? What did other people's dreams and paths look like?
I don't know that I think we have dreams as kids. Like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a fireman, whatever it is. And I don't know that I ever really had a good vision of my path when I was young. And
Do you think that could be because you maybe didn't have any example of what was possible, or?
that may be part of it, right? When you think about the people you're surrounded with, right? And in my world, you know, yeah, we were second generation, but the Valley's like little Mexico, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
absolutely it is.
It felt like you were first gen, right?
Yeah.
And for a long time, my mother had the highest education on both sides of my family,
Yeah.
both my mom and my dad's side. And she just had a degree, right? It wasn't like she had multiple degrees. Later, she gets her master's and stuff. And so I think part of it was like, I don't know that anyone was like helping me say like, hey, here's your next step, or here's where you need to go, or you should be an engineer. I think my parents were still kind of figuring it out. So I didn't have a lot of like ideas of what it meant. But I do remember we had people that would come in, right? They would come speak to the classes, and they would come into the auditoriums like, hey, we do this. And the whole part of it was to get you to kind of think about like what your future is going to be like. I remember this lady came in, and she was in sales, and she sold like cruises or something. I don't remember exactly. And I remember she said, I made $100,000 last year. And it was like the most mind-blowing thing to me. I'm like, how do you, $100,000? Like, I couldn't even grasp what that meant. I couldn't even understand like what it meant to make that kind of money. But I knew that at some point, at some time, I'd have to do something, and I'd have to kind of find my path. But it wasn't normal. Like, my path wasn't regular. I didn't, go to college, get a degree, find a job, hate the job, go to the next job. It took a lot of windy roads to get to where I was.
Even without maybe a clear vision as a child on what your future might hold, do you think you ever could have grasped manifesting the life you've manifested?
No. I mean, I used to say this all the time. I'm just a poor kid from the Valley, right? I'm just a young, poor kid from the Valley. I'm no longer a kid. But no, I think up until 2020, I was kind of in shock that and none of it felt real, right? Like it never felt real. It never felt like I deserved it. It never felt like I was supposed to be here. And I think for a long time I lived with this, like, someone's going to figure out I'm not this good. That changed a little bit around 2020. I was like, oh wait, I know what I'm doing. I know, like, I got here and I'm good at this. But no, it took me a long time. Even helping build InsideDesk and where we're at. I remember finishing our first year, and I was sitting at a beach, and I'd been diving. So I'm just sitting out there having a drink and thinking like, my God, I'm so lucky to like have been able to put myself in a situation where I'm at a startup company and was able to slowly start turning that into something so real. And I just sat there and I was just real grateful that a bunch of really lucky stuff has happened for me.
Yeah, I love those aha, like surreal moments where you're just like pinching yourself, kind of, wait, how is this ever possible, right?
For sure.
Okay, so it's clear to the audience at this point that you and I work in dentistry together. How we met and became friends. Throughout your career and with the building of InsideDesk and the success that you've achieved, not just for the company, but for yourself professionally, have there been hardships, obstacles, lessons, failures that shaped the man that you are today?
It's all a series of failures, right? I mean, I think my boss used to say something like, you have to last long enough to be lucky for something good to happen, right? And so, yeah, I think when you think about grit and perseverance and doing things even though you're losing, this is going to sound so silly, but there's this theory that basically says like people of my generation are really good at doing hard shit because they played video games where you died. And so you had to do like the same thing over and over and over and over and over again to like finally beat a boss. I know that sounds super silly, but when you think about life, like that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're going to people and groups and companies to convince them that your product or your marketing or your data is better, right? Or is good. And you're just failing over and over. And then you plug something in wrong or do something or provide the wrong service. And so I think part of life is really about just like, it's the struggle. I mean, it just doesn't feel good if it's not hard.
I call it the anointing.
Okay. I like that.
So, yeah, I used to look at struggles and hardships like something bad was happening to me, something bad was being done to me, God had abandoned me, God, where are you, right? That sort of victim mentality. And my perspective on that has shifted so drastically that now I look at those as opportunities. And it's like, okay, what is this trying to teach me? How can I learn to evolve out of this, right? So yeah, I love all of that. And you know, one of the best pieces of business advice I've ever heard, or like, I'm sure you've seen reels where they'll interview billionaires or like, you know, really successful founders, and they'll say, okay, what's the one key to success? And they'll say, don't quit. The only common underlying variable, the only, you know, all things remaining constant, is that all these successful people that you see never gave up.
Sometimes I'm just kind of, I can't figure out if like I like puzzles or I just like pain. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but my boss or someone will come up and be like, you can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. We can't do that. It's terrible, but I'll sleep with it. Right. And then I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, wait, I think we can do it this way. And so like, that's the fun part, right? Like, yeah, it's supposed to be hard. Shit isn't supposed to be easy. If it is, you can't appreciate it. And so,
yeah,
I think everyone's journey is a little bit different, but you know, hard journeys are fun. You turn back and you go, holy cow, I made it up that.
Yeah.
know?
Well, that anointing and that pressing of the oil is what shapes you into the person that can hold the final destination, right?
100%.
So it's like, without going through these trials, without going through these obstacles or having to sort of figure out how to navigate things, you don't get that character development or that foundation that you need to be able to be the person who can hold the success without self-sabotaging it.
I'd like to think that's true, right? Sometimes I think like it can't be that difficult for everybody, right? Like I think people sometimes struggle with like what feels good. And I think that's the problem, right? If it doesn't instantly feel good, then it's like, I'm out. I don't want to do that. And the good shit's it's on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, on the other side of the fear. It's like I tell people all the time, when I feel that feeling of anxiety or fear or like limiting beliefs, I know on the other side of that is the next version of me, because I've done it enough times that I'm like, okay, I know this feeling. And your instinct initially, no matter how many times you've done it, is, whoa, you know, this isn't safe or shouldn't go this direction or whatever. But then, like you said, when you went to sleep and woke up and thought about it from a different perspective, it's like you eventually remember, when you've done it enough times, if I just lean into this and cross this bridge, on the other side is the opportunity. On the other side is the reward. On the other side is the better version, higher version of me.
You know, I just thought about something you said earlier. Hey, do you have this thing that you've taken, that you've learned? And I came up with a moment in my life that I always think about that keeps me pushing forward. But I just realized like one of the other things that it is you have to be able to foster or live in an environment that has a high tolerance for failure. And I think what happens is when you're a kid and your parents let you fail, you learn that it's okay to fail. Sometimes people don't give you that space to breathe, specifically in your work, sometimes even just professionally, right? Sometimes even just personally on yourself, like how hard we are on each other. You know, failure isn't just an option, it's a necessity, right? Like you have to be able to fail. You have to be okay failing. And if you're not in an environment that fosters your ability to fail, you do get in trouble, right? Because the answer then is I can only provide work, or I can only produce art, or I can only do something that is good. And if it's not good, then the answer is, well, then I just won't do it.
Or then I'm not good, right?
Well, right. Yeah. Well, then it becomes that loop, right? Yeah. Like, well, then I don't want to do it because it's going to be bad. And so I think part of it is, like you have to be okay failing. And I think that's really hard for people if you haven't been in a place where people say, hey, it's okay to be shitty. It's okay to do a bad drawing, right?
It's okay not to be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay not to be perfect.
Okay. So you're building this career, and then you have this awakening last year or a transformation. What do you want me to call it? What's the term?
Midlife crisis.
That's called an awakening.
No, it was, I'm being funny, but yeah, it was, yeah, I think awakening is probably, yeah, I think that's probably a really great way to position it, right?
Yeah. So before this occurred, how would you say you, like, what drove you in life and in career before that happened, before that trigger? And what fulfillment did your career bring you?
Look, I come from, you know, you said this already. I come from South Texas, right? It's like 95% his, Mexican American, and it's probably 80% Catholic, right? And so you wake up every day. I'm the oldest of four. My parents would tell me, like, hey, one day, and now that I think about it, it's kind of crazy, but my parents were like, hey, one day we're going to be dead. And you need to make sure you can take care of your brothers and sisters in case we're gone.
Gosh, no pressure.
Which is kind of like a wild thing to tell like a 6-year-old or whatever, but like they did, right? Mm-hmm. And so my path was interesting. I didn't go straight to college. I took some time off. I lived at the beach. I moved to Austin. Like I did all these kind of nutty things for a little bit, but when I was 30, my dad died. Mm-hmm. And he had told me some stuff. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, you haven't done this. You haven't accomplished this. You don't have these things. Like, you're fucking 30 years old. Like, where's all your stuff? Mm. And it was like, dang. I mean, it was like,
yeah.
My dad passing, again, when you talk about hard things, like it's the worst moment of my life, but it's also the best moment of my life, mm-hmm. right? Because it made me have to look inwards, right? To your point, like that was an awakening too. Mm-hmm.
Grief is a great portal to the next self.
Yeah. And so I was like, holy cow, like I haven't done these things. I don't have this stuff. I'm making all this money. I'm still living essentially paycheck to paycheck. Right. And so I started really focusing on my career. Like I need, it's 2008, the market economy's crashed. I can't get a job. No one wants to hire me. And I'm just like, what am I going to do next? Like, how do I survive? I found a marketing job, funny enough, selling Google, SEO, SEM, all that stuff. And I just started like, I just want to be better. So I started reading books on like how to be a leader and how to be a manager and how to manage people's emotions. And the reward was everything, right? Like anything that I had dreamed of. I was traveling. I was buying clothes. I was taking care of my mom. I was, my brother and sister would be like, hey, I need a textbook for college, right? Like send them some money. And so it's like, the reward was the ego, right? Like, it's like, oh, I'm really good at all this stuff, right? And it's like, hey, you're good at it. And now your company's like giving you awards and telling you you're great at it. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm like really good at all this stuff. And so I was driven at the time to provide, to make sure that if something happened, I could help take care of my family and my mom and make sure that she was good. And that drove me for years. I mean, just, from title to job, to pay raise, to career. And before I knew it, I had all of these things that I had at some point wanted, desired, right?
Well, the big question there is, did you feel fulfilled?
I think so. I think I felt fulfilled. And then last year, I realized like, oh, I caught all these things, right? Like I caught my title. I caught the salary, like $100,000. I didn't think I'd ever make $100,000, right? And then you make more than that. And you're like, how did I get there? And so, yeah, I think it was fulfilling. I think it felt good. But last year you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, how much of it is real?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm taking these trips and I'm hanging out with my friends. My brother, let's go to Mexico. I'm like, brothers, let's go to Mexico. And it's like, I work from home so I can do all these things. And so there was a moment last year where I was like, I don't know how much of this is real. Not that I'm not enjoying time with my family, but it's like, I am doing this for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Right. I'm doing it. There was I don't know how to really say this. It's going to sound weird probably, but it was like, I was almost doing it for a fix, for a hit. I was actually, you're right. It's like, hey, look at me. I'm in Hawaii now. Hey, look at me. I'm in Paris now. Right. Like, again, it's not that I wasn't enjoying it, but it just, how I was taking it in and what I was pushing out, it just didn't, it started to not feel good. And
do you think you were doing it for you, or because you wanted to appear successful and make your dad proud?
oh man,
Yeah, I went
that's
there.
a good one.
I'm sort of picking up on that, Eric.
Yeah. By the way, I watched Death of a Salesman on Sunday in New York, and it really messed me up because it's about a dad sales guy and his son, but neither here nor there. So when you said that, just weird stuff
I'll
happening.
have to
for
watch
me
it.
now. I still think, he didn't get to see the best parts of me.
Yeah.
So I feel like that shit is like, that doesn't die. That's like,
I know, that's what I'm
there.
saying. Like, maybe it was almost a tribute to him
I don't,
or your family in general.
Listen, I've had friends,
Mm-hmm.
people tell me,
Mm-hmm.
damn, dude, you did it. I didn't really think you were going to be anything when we left high school, right? Like people like, which just give you, think about like the kind of balls to someone say like, how did you do that? Right. So I think part of it was just like, F you, I'm not supposed to be here. So I'm gonna let you know that I made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the degrees into this and the that and the this, and here I am, and I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm real good.
Yeah.
So sometimes, again, that doesn't come from a good place.
No.
That's not like a
That's
fucking
ego.
that's not a fucking healthy place.
Yeah, that's the
to be
ego in
like,
the driver's seat.
to be like,
Mhm.
Hey,
I'm
look
gonna
at,
show
look at
you.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
look at what I did.
Yeah. Oh, I lived like that for a very long time.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
kind
we
of
call it performative living, right? It's we were just discussing this in the last episode. It's like not necessarily things that fulfill the soul, but things that we think are required of us in order to receive approval of others.
There's definitely that, and I think for me, like there was another layer of escapism in that, like, how do I get away from the stress that I've created from the job? How do I get away from the, like, you create stress for yourself, right? It's like, I need to do better. We need to get more. We need to do faster. We need to, right? There's all these like internal pressures. And so I think part of it was like, if I can travel and be on a trip in Mexico or somewhere, then I don't have to be home.
Yeah.
And if I can go to Toronto and work in Toronto, well, then I don't have to be home either.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I used the road to escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to get these like weird fixes of like, oh, I'm in Oaxaca and I'm eating all these great foods. And don't get me wrong, all of it was super great. But I wasn't doing it for good reasons. I was doing it to get away. I was doing it to hide shit. I was doing it to be performative. And it was just it was a little ugly.
So you've come to this realization that maybe you've built a life in which you're not doing all the things for all the right reasons. Is that where we're at this point?
That's where I was last year. Yeah,
that's the
for sure.
epiphany you came to.
Yeah.
How did that realization change the way you approach leading the company, change the way you approach interacting in your relationships, approaching your life decisions?
I'm Catholic. I said I'm Catholic a few times already, but
Yeah, peace be with you, brother.
I went, it was Lent last year, and I did this thing where I told like, I'm just going to unplug from everything. Right. So like I stopped social media. I wasn't drinking. I just was like I wasn't traveling. Like I just unplug every single thing in my life, you know, wasn't reaching out to my friends. I was just like, I just need to like detox. And it was
exactly what you mean.
It was the worst. I mean, it was brutal and painful, and I was grouchy and awful, and it's just a terrible 40. It was just a long time of like, you're so used. I think we don't realize how much input we take every day. Oh yeah. And so when you remove all that input, you're just left with your feelings and your thoughts. Which I don't think we spend a lot of time doing, right?
Yep. You are speaking my language right now.
Yeah, so I was doing a lot of walking, and I got real into bird pictures, which is why I was asking about the cameras.
You and me both love birds now.
I'm buying this lens and this camera, right? And I'm
because the birds become your friends.
Yeah, because the sounds of birds
regulates that nervous
when you
system.
think about in history, it meant safety.
Yeah.
when the birds stop chirping, there's bad shit around.
Yeah.
They're flocking, right? So like the sound of birds, like it is calming at a very like
ancestral.
Yeah,
level.
like a very like deep thing.
Yeah.
And so I started taking pictures of birds, which is funny because my friends sometimes tell me like, I wish you would talk to me the way you talk about the birds, right? Like you're so sweet to them. It wasn't easy, and last year was really hard, difficult for me just personally. And, but I think what came out of it is that I think I'm more patient now.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I know it sounds silly. Like we hear it all the time, right? That, hey, you don't know what the other person's going through, and be thoughtful. And I try to be thoughtful, but I was being hard on myself because I had these kind of weird, gross expectations, and I had all this stress, and I was trying to get away, and I was trying to run away, and you start pushing that on people in weird ways.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it until you unplug it all.
Yep. Yep. I know exactly what you mean.
And so I think for me, like what's really come from it is that I'm much more thoughtful in terms of like trying to understand what people are going through. And even with my friends, I don't really let them get away with like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right. Because we all say we're good. We all say we're fine. We all act like.
See, my house is the revolving therapist store. Like if my friends have a bad day or they're having a hard moment, they're on my couch. And I am so proud of that I've created a safe space for the people I love.
I'm lucky to have people who love me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so one of the things I really try to instill in myself is like, if I think about someone, I text them.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't waste the moment. I just be like, hey, I just thinking about you. Saw a McDonald's cup and remembered that you like unsweet tea and I hate unsweet tea. Right. Whatever. And so I think part of it is I'm trying to be more thoughtful and more mindful. And look, I'm a little self-centered, right? Like I'm the firstborn son to a matriarch, right? Like my grandmother ran this family and I could do no wrong. And so I'm a little self-centered. And so I really try to be a little bit more empathetic, try to put myself in people's shoes. And I think sometimes I was not great at that.
I think a lot of men go through that learning curve. I think a lot of men are raised with that masculine wound of I can do no wrong, or, like sort of the entitlement wound, or like lack of perspective of being able to see, other people.
Yeah, I think those
like a lot of men go through that.
Cultural stuff cuts both ways.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm a provider because I was raised to provide, but I also never served myself a plate, right? Like my grandmother or my mother would be like, Mijo, I'll get you. Don't stand up. And it's like, well, now I'm like, are you making me the plate? Do I have to get up? So those things, look, they cut both ways, but I think generally, yeah, I think we're in a interesting time where women they're just the better species, right? They're smarter. They can multitask. They have a higher pain threshold. Like you give a guy like a tiny headache and they're on the ground. Because I do that. And you have all these men today who are like, I have to provide, but I'm not as smart as my girlfriend. I don't make as much money as my girlfriend. And those women are looking for high income providing earners, right? Like when you meet someone, part of it is about safety. And how do you provide?
For women, it's only always about safety.
Right. And
not necessarily monetary
that's
safety.
Right. But that's my
just
point.
Safety.
What type of safety do you put the most value in? Sometimes it's like, hey, I just want a big dude to hold me and I'm not scared when I'm, walking down the street. Sometimes it's almost always to some degree it's monetary, right? I don't want my boyfriend to drive. I don't want my boyfriend to drop me off in my car and then him leave, right? There's those guys. And so there's like a lot of this safety stuff is like, right? What is valuable to you?
Yeah.
And so we're in an interesting time right now where, a lot of men don't work, right?
Yeah.
I think it's something crazy, like a third of the men population over like 18 don't work.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm on the dating scene, unfortunately. I'll take condolences, all of them. And the amount, like I had this guy message me and he goes, hey, just to get this out of the way, I'm broke. And it's like, the girls are laughing because I showed it to them. It's not that he's broke. I am actually the least, like when it comes to fiscal stuff, that is probably the bottom of my list. Yeah. And I have my reasons for that. Like my upbringing reflects a lot of why I choose men, but and he isn't the only one. I went on a couple dates with guys that had no jobs. And I think what it is a reflection of lack of self-understanding, self-acceptance, self-knowledge, and direction in life. It's like, if you don't know who you are, how do you know where you're going? But then if that's the case, get off the apps, man. Yeah. Get off the apps. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know what you want, don't step into my field.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thought.
That's what a man says when he doesn't agree with you.
No. Listen, I'm processing it, right? Because I'm not disagreeing. Here's where I disagree. I've spent my life trying to figure out who I am, and then I spent a part of my life acting in a way I thought I was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Right? Like part of the shit that drives all that negativity over the last couple of years or whatever was like, oh, I'm supposed to be this guy, right?
Yeah,
I'm supposed to.
That's the Matrix.
And and your friends are talking to you, and you're like, and it's like, oh, well, I'm the single guy, and I travel everywhere, and I can go do whatever I want, and then you're doing all those things, and it's like, but that's not driving anything good, right?
Yeah.
So the journey, like the search for self and stuff like that stuff, it's like that's just part of it. But I think the point that you make that's like really good is like, if you don't want to work and you want to be broke, like that's fine. There's no problem with that, right? I don't want to work. I don't ever want to work. I work, but I don't want to work. But I think that's the point. Like, but you have to then understand, like, what's the payoff for that, or what's the consequence of that? And if you don't want to work, you're just generally not going to be found attractive by women who are working, right? Who are being productive with their lives. They want a partner to travel that journey with, not
we want to build an empire. We want a king,
whatever it may be, right? And so, what does that king mean, right? Like I have a friend of mine who his wife makes a ton of money, and when they were younger, he put her through college.
Yeah.
And the trade-off was on the other side of this. Mm-hmm. I'll stay home and take care of the kids because you're going to have this great job. Mm-hmm. So he worked double shifts and all the stuff to get her through college. She got her degree. She started making money, and they flipped. Mm-hmm. Right. So again, it goes back to where's your balance? Where's your safety? What do you want? But if the choice is like, hey, I don't want to have money and I'm not going to work and I don't want to have ambition or drive, well, then, you probably shouldn't be on the apps.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
but I don't even think it's about work. I think it's about a lack of doing the work that you did to pause your life and disconnect and figure out who the hell you really are. Most men are not going to sit with the birds. They're not going to sit with the birds. They don't want to hear their own thoughts. They don't want to open their heart. They don't want to face the wounds. They don't want to shed the masks. They don't want to do any of that. That's terrifying work to a man, right? And so I think, because like even the guys that I've encountered that have jobs hate their jobs, hate them. I have not encountered one single man that is happy and thriving and driven by his career. And I think it's because men are lost right now.
I feel like you're on the wrong apps or something.
Okay, so there's the Drew Barrymore talk show. She had this guest on. Sorry that I don't remember the guest name, but anyway, they got on the topic of dating apps, and Drew Barrymore's like, "Look, I've been on the apps," and the girl responds with, "Okay, hold on. We just need to combine all the apps into one app and call it What's Left."
Nice. That's a good one.
So no, I don't want to be on the apps. In fact,
but you don't need to be on the apps.
I don't know how to meet people.
Stop.
There's a setting in the app that literally says
you just told people that we work together. I have seen you work an entire room. What are you talking about?
I am great at working a room.
Then why do you need an app?
So the app in the settings, it said how picky are you spectrum gauge.
That's wild.
Guess where mine was. The classification.
Pickiest.
Super picky.
Oh, of course.
The app is like, you don't even want to be here. And I'm like, I don't actually want to be here.
Yeah, of course. That's every one of you. This is like when you're a man looking for a mate. All of you are like this, by the way. And it's just who we are, right? Like you get it successful, you want a certain level of whatever. But like the other side of that is that there are thousands and thousands of men who are swiping and being told no every single day over and over and over and over and over again. You're not good enough. You're not hot enough. You don't make enough money. Your picture's not good. Your hair's not good. Your life's not good.
You have great hair.
It was a lot of, it's crazy today. There's too much humidity.
Welcome.
These young men are being told over and over that they're not good enough.
Yeah, I
they
get
don't,
that.
and I just can't imagine what it would feel like every day wanting to meet someone and putting myself out there to meet someone and then being told every day you're not good enough. At some point, I would think that you just get jaded and go, I'm gonna be shitty, fuck them, and I'm not gonna work, and I'm broke. And if you want to go out with me, fine. And so there is both sides to it, and I don't partake in the apps. I feel like there's enough people in the world to say hi to.
It is so scary out there. This one guy was like, you remind me of my mom. And my friends were like, you should refer him to a therapist.
Yeah.
So.
Unless his mom was nice. Because let me tell you something. If I met someone that reminded me of my mom, that lady's getting married.
So what you were describing earlier about you're perfect, you're the golden child, you're this. Most boys are raised that way. I mean, like my boys are gods in my house. I'm like every single day it's like, guess how much I love you. Guess how much I love you, To the moon and back, Mom, to the moon and back.
They're going to be great.
No, they'll be very great masculines. Yes, I'm making sure of it. So let's roll back a little bit. We derailed. We are going to talk about this topic a little bit more, but I want to make sure we close the loop on some of the other stuff first. So let's roll back to your point of isolation. You've isolated yourself in your house.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Like I did that for a year. I didn't leave my house for a year. I sat with the birds. We developed very strong relationships. I picked up a stray cat. Her name was Maggie. I lived with the animals. And my friends would come visit me and make sure I was eating, and that was it. But it was me and God in that house. And so tell me, during your time in isolation, because I do think when God is doing his biggest, deepest work in us, he will isolate us and make us secluded and make us unplug, like you mentioned. Because how can you hear God if we're bombarded? Like our world is literally created so that we disconnect from God and self, which is why taking that time is so important. What were some of the wounds that you faced, or the truths about yourself maybe that you faced, that you felt like by the time you resurfaced into the world again, that you had addressed or resolved or at least grown in?
Look, I'm still dealing with this, right? Like,
yeah, the work never ends.
Being at home by yourself, it's terrible. I mean, I don't know a better way to say it. Like, I lived in Austin. Like every night there was someone's like, let's go do this. Let's go do that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like there's just shit to do. There were a ton. I mean, dude, some of them are embarrassing. Some of them are just awful. Like not awful, like terrible, but they feel terrible. One of them we talked about, like, why do I do these things?
Yeah.
Right. Like I can't post to social anymore without thinking like, wait, why am I doing this? Is this so my friends can see it? Or is it so my friends know that I did it? Right there was this time in your life where like you went somewhere to experience it, and then you went to this place where you could take a picture of it and show it to someone. But now the high is showing people that you were there in an instant. It's not really about being there. It's about showing that you were there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so when I look back at last year, one of the biggest things that I came away with it is like, I'm a liar. And not like you have nice hair and you don't, or, whatever, but like I'm in sales. Everything that I do is some sort of like spin. It's an exaggeration. You're always telling a story, right?
There's an intention. Yeah.
And so it's like, you start to realize like everything that you're doing is a pitch, right? It's kind of a weird thing to know about yourself that someone asked me the other day.
Like you're always on.
Yeah, you're just always on. It's always performative.
Yep.
And so you know, one of the biggest things that came around is like what's real. I know this is so dumb, but it's like,
nothing is dumb on my couch.
I know this is silly, but like I spent most of last year trying to really figure out what's real in my life and what's not real in my life. And I'm not talking about the experiences or the people, but like the intention. And to this day, it messes with me. To this day, it's like, I mean, this is so dumb. My mom's turning 75. I'm throwing her a birthday party.
Happy birthday, Mom.
we're taking her, my family and I are taking her to Oaxaca for her birthday.
Love this.
And I'm like, I love my mother. I'm doing this because I love my mother, right? But it's also like, in there somewhere is like, I'm also doing it so people know that I love my mother. I will post photos on Instagram so people can see like, in some place there, it's like, I'm a better son than you. And because I'm in sales, dude, and I'm always with people and going places and you're at a show and you're talking and sometimes it's like I got lost somewhere.
Yeah. So what you're describing is the split off the ego, right?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Because the ego is driven by external validation. And that's where the posting on the stories comes in. Oh, I'm toxic about that. That is the last wound I'm like, I have got to figure this out, right? I want to be so much better at it, right? But you know, the ego, when you're rooted in ego, it's about external validation, approval outside yourself, validation, worth, all of that outside of yourself. When you are rooted in the highest self, the truth, the soul essence, all of your validation comes from the divine and yourself, right? The inner world of yourself, because you're living in alignment of your truth versus performance for the outside world.
Yeah, for sure.
And that shift will change your entire life.
Yeah, it's awful.
So you've explained to me that you just weren't getting a lot of fulfillment out of how you were living your life, or at least how you were making the decisions for your life and the path you were on. And so you decided, I'm going to isolate, unplug, and just get back to hearing my own voice to figure out what I need to fix. Was there a moment, a catalyst that ignited that? Or was it a progression to get to that thought process?
Yeah, it was a catalyst. Look, it was both, right? I think in hindsight, you know, one of the things I said is like, I was living in a way where I was just kind of doing the next, I'm going to use the word hit, because it's like, I don't know another better way to explain it. Like I was just looking for another like dopamine drop. Like,
Yeah.
How can I'll travel, I'll do this, I'll go, I'll find a client, I'll just like, and so it was just, I didn't realize it was escalating. I was just finding more and more reasons not to be home. I was finding more and more reasons not to be thinking about work or not to be thinking about stress. And so I was just compounding it. As a young kid in my 20s, you would have called it burning the candle at both ends, right? I was working till midnight and then partying till 3 and then have to be back working. You know what I mean? But I was kind of doing the same thing. I wasn't partying because I'm old now, but I was finding ways to distract myself. And I just didn't realize, like, I was really self-destructing. I was really just trying to find more and put myself in so much of a dramatic, stressed out situation that it just kind of all collapsed at one time.
Well, you're trying to fill like this void with material world things that maybe that void, it's not something that something outside of you can fill.
Yeah, I was hiding, I was deflecting,
Yeah.
I was pretending, I was lying to myself mostly. I was propping up a lot of relationships that, looking back, not that they weren't bad relationships, but it's like they can't be one-way streets either, right? You can't be the one that's always like, I don't mind being the connector. But yeah, I made some bad decisions, and they weren't crazy, like, but they were bad enough that I'm like, why? Like, what are you doing this for? Like, why? Like, this is not, doesn't feel good. These aren't good actions. I was hurting people in weird, like, not like ugly ways. You start letting people down. People start, they're depending on you. We call it your say-do. You're going to say you're going to do something, right? You say you're going to do 100 things. You do 20% of them. It's like your say-do shitty, right? And I was always there for the big things. I didn't miss the big things, but I was just dropping balls left and right, and not really apologizing or saying, hey, that's my life. Sorry, I'm busy. Sorry. Just wasn't being good friends to certain friends. Not that I was bad friends. Was neglecting the wrong friends and making time for. Did I say that wrong? I was neglecting the right friends and whatever. So yeah, I think it was a buildup of like me, like just finding ways to be active and find ways to feel good about how hard everything was. It's like, it wasn't even that hard. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do pretty good and I have a good career, and the end, I have people that love me, and I have good family. I just had created this weird world for myself, and I had to escape it. I had to get out of it. And so I told everyone I'm moving back to South Texas, and I'm gonna go move back into my family home, like in like my bedroom that I grew up in.
This is where you isolated?
I went home.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I went home. And so I'm there by myself, my mom's house, just like staring at the back window, like, oh shit, a green jay. Getting super excited about birds,
Green jay, you explained to me that is that's the blue jay mixed with the what?
Oh, that's the grue jay. So there's
grue jay.
There's
the green jay mixed with the blue jay is the grue jay.
Yeah, so the blue jays only come so far south to like San Antonio, or actually right north of San Antonio. And then the green jays stop at the valley. But they've both been kind of migrating towards each other. And so the first grue jay was in San Antonio. So not a great name. But yeah.
Yeah, the audience is like, so glad I listened to this. Yeah. Totally worth it. Like, I could never have lived another day not knowing about a grue jay.
Yeah, they're like birds. Next channel.
Yeah. If we still have you after all our talk of birds.
Yeah.
Awakening requires shedding every layer to our identity. Do you agree?
Awakening requires shedding. Yes.
Okay. It also requires us to review our belief system and our truths as we've been told to know them.
Yes.
It shakes you to your core, demands you free yourself from your past wounds,
yes,
masks, and blindly accepted truths.
Yes.
What has your awakening asked you to give up or shed, and what has it cost you?
Damn, dude.
I would drop my mic, but it's on an arm.
There's a real fine line. I am a private person. I am like, my friends would not say this. Most people would not say this about me, right? Social media provides you a place where people think they know your life. Yeah. You curate what you want them to see. And so because of it, and look, I'm loud and gregarious and I laugh and I have, you know what I mean? Like people think like, oh, we know this guy. But there's like a really fine line between like privacy and secrecy, right? And so what does it cost me? It's cost me relationships because I'm trying to be forthright with truth.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is like people would say something like, hey, what are you doing? And I go, I'm going to dinner. But I didn't realize, I know this, and this might sound silly too, but I didn't realize like that kind of hurts people.
Yeah.
Right. You're telling them what you're doing, but you're not really telling them what you're doing. And so I'm trying to be more open with my family, with my friends, like, and I don't know why I was doing it. But now when someone says like, hey, what are you doing? I try to drop two truths in it. Right. Hey, I'm going to dinner with Jen and her boyfriend. We're going to go eat some Chinese food tonight. I know that sounds silly, but I had built these fucking crazy walls around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had partitioned my life where like my brother's my best friend. He didn't really know about my whole life. And, you know, my mom didn't really know about some of the stuff I was doing. And again, I know it sounds probably worse than it is, but I just wasn't being open. And when
you probably weren't being open with the people closest to you because you weren't living in alignment with your.
All of that is true.
Yeah.
But what happens is people do have expectations of us.
Yeah.
Right? We have expectations of the person you're sitting across from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was just such a level of people pleasing that I wouldn't want to tell someone something that I think would hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just partitioning stuff like, hey, I don't want that person to know I'm hanging out with this person. Or I don't want my mom to know that I'm going to Toronto for the weekend. I mean, whatever. I mean, I know that's stupid. And I think it started, oh God, this is so dumb, but there was a time where I was going to Vegas a lot and I would just go to Vegas and go to Vegas and go to Vegas. I can tell you why and tell you the whole story, but I won't bore the audience here. And my friends started being like, dude, you're in Vegas a lot. And they were like worried about me. They were like fucking scared. Like, what's going on? And it was nothing, but it was just where I was working. And I love I know this is so dumb. I love the food. I love the shows. And it's just such a great place. And people think of Vegas as Sin City, right? So they just thought I was doing terrible shit. And so I just started like, just kind of partitioning like stories of my life and not telling everyone everything. And what happens is when you are truthful and open about who you are and what you're doing and who you spend your time with, some people don't want to know that part of you. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And so it's funny, like I have friends who they're like, you still hang out with that person? And I'm like, yeah, they're cool. Like they're XYZ. And I'm like, yeah, but they're fun. Some friends are just for fun. And some friends are just for eating. And some of my favorite friends are my book reading friends, right? Like people that I want to read books with. Mm-hmm. So what it cost me was relationships. Mm-hmm. It cost me a lot of really good relationships just because, people do have expectations of us as humans. And they have, and I have to be able to say this. In one instance, I don't care. And then in the other instance is like, well, I don't want it to cost me my relationship. But it's like, then that's not a good relationship. Right. Like, they can't take you on your terms.
Well, see, I am a firm believer in everything is energy and frequency and everything is alignment based on those two variables. And so if you're raising your vibration or frequency and standing in your truth, people will naturally fall out of your field who can't also raise to that same vibration. And so, yeah, some of it is probably them just feeling misalignment of, well, I don't agree with X, Y, and Z decision. But some of it too is the courage that you have now to live authentically, fully embodied, and not worry about other people's judgments or what they think. That in and of itself raised your frequency. Authenticity is the highest frequency you can embody in life. And so when you're living authentically in your own truth, people don't know this, but subconsciously their energy will pick up on that. And they will go, okay, I'm not at that frequency subconsciously. And then they drop out of the field. It's really interesting because that's happened to me more times than I can count since I've gone through this journey.
I think the other thing I've learned, that's true. Mm-hmm. And I think the other thing that I learned is like the people who love you, like really love you. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say they don't care, but they accept you.
That's unconditional love.
And yeah. So they might not agree, right? Like sometimes I tell people like, I want to move to Thailand. And they're like, their eyes get real big. Like, what are you going to do over there? Like, how are you going to live? And you know what I mean?
You're like, a lot cheaper than here.
Yeah, but they're also like, all right, he's going to do it anyway. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, look, I'm not perfect. I'm not like this beaming, like I fight every day. Like I'm a private dude. Mm-hmm. And so I fight all the time about, and I still have expectations of like work. Mm-hmm. Like, what if someone, I mean, I'm just going to give you another just stupid example is like when I get on a plane, mm-hmm. I have to dress up. Mm-hmm. And I hate dressing up to get on planes. I want to be in shorts want to be in flip-flops. They're hot. I'm like, what if I run into someone that I work with? So when I get on planes, I dress up, especially when we're going to shows, because I'm like, I don't want to run into someone. They're like, that guy runs InsideDesk. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to think that. And so it's like, there are these things that like, I think I'm always working on. I'm always trying to like figure out, like, how can I be the best version of myself? How can I be a better human? And how can I be the most authentic person without giving up, you know, some of my personal boundaries.
Yep.
And those things are always kind of in flux a little bit.
Okay, so now I want to pivot to another topic we discussed at dinner, which is the sort of disconnect that's happening between the masculine and feminine right now.
Okay.
Which I thought you had some great insight on.
Did I?
I do, yeah. So what do you think is one lie that most men are telling themselves right now?
Yo, that's a deep one. One lie. Wait, when it comes to relationships?
Could be anything.
I think the biggest lie right now, just dudes. No, this is everybody. I'm going to go back to the apps. I think about this all the time, right? We curate a person that isn't real, right? And so what happens is when you're this is my whole last year, by the way, the expectation and the reality have to match, right? Like they have to be the same thing. And so funny enough, you have guys that are telling you they're broke, but most of the people that are online are trying to find a woman to come meet with them. And so they are curating a fake life. And then when they meet, right, like it's brutal to find out that that person is not the person that they have created.
I got catfished.
And yeah, I think that's the hard part, right? It's like, this is where I think like I know we were talking about the apps, but it's like they generate, I don't know how they're positive.
No, it's what's left.
Not that it's fair enough. No, I guess that's fair enough, but like, I don't see where it's good. Like, I'm not saying that people can't meet on apps. I know plenty, right? But it's like, everyone's not real. And then you have to meet with each other and it's like, oh, you're actually not that person.
Yeah.
And that just feels like a hard existence. And I really feel bad for the women, right? Because they have this expectation of like, this is what I want to find. And this is the guy that I need, the pickiness, you know what I mean? And to your point, like it is what's left, right? The dudes on there are so jaded from being picked over and passed over so often, right? That it just becomes a negative downward spiral for everybody.
Yeah.
So you're unhappy, you don't like your dating life, but you know you still have to date, right?
Yeah.
And so you're back on the app.
I'm just hoping my guy walks through the front door, you know? Hello, I've arrived. About damn time.
Well, I guess we'll just stare and see how long it takes.
All right. Thanks for answering that.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
What do you think the biggest lie that guys are telling?
Telling women?
Just telling.
Any lie. So they could be telling, this could be something they tell themselves or something they tell other people.
Sure.
Okay. I'm actually going to answer it in two parts. The first lie I think they tell themselves is that they're not allowed to feel.
Oh, interesting.
This is coming from a woman who, because of her core wounds, has a type. And that type is emotionally unavailable. So I tend to pick emotionally unavailable men. So I have studied essentially a man who is, in many people, a man who is at war with himself, who I think is wearing the mask of what society expects of a man and hasn't faced those wounds, hasn't faced himself in the mirror, has those walls built up around him, you know?
It is legitimately the burden of expectation, right? I'm expected to provide. All the girls I know are hotter, smarter, funnier than I am, right? That is true. I think you're right in that they're not ready to emotionally do the work. I would argue, though, I having never heard a story of this from you, that this is true. Those dudes, those terrible dudes you dated, the narcissist guys and stuff, they were never more vulnerable than when they were spending time with you. Because those same dudes are crying and frustrated and telling you how hard it is and how hard their life is. And while you're doing all of the other things they're not doing, they're talking to you and telling you how tough it is. And so to go back to your mother wound, right? I actually don't think that guys are not vulnerable. I think I really believe this. I think most women are very uncomfortable having a vulnerable man with them. They want to be protected and they want to be shielded. And I dated a woman, and the second I would get vulnerable, it was very hard for her. Right? It was she couldn't handle it. And she wanted me to take care of her. She didn't want to take care of me. I'm talking about emotionally, right? And I've dated other women that's not true, that they're comfortable, that they want that connection, that intimacy, right? They don't see it as they don't see it as weakness. That's a good one. But I think there are a lot of women out there who don't want their dudes to cry. I think there are a lot of women out there that expect their dudes to be strong. And if you want to know the women that are the hardest on their men, it's the daughters, because they want their dad to be tough. And I think that's a thing that that expectation for men to be strong, that comes from not just like society, that comes from wife, that comes from children, that comes from the buddy next door.
I have a different perspective though. I think that strength in a man is emotional safety. Like when we talked about like wanting to feel safe with a man, we're not saying we don't want that man to feel quite the opposite. We need you healed. We need you whole, because without doing that work, you can't protect me. If you don't love yourself and accept yourself fully, if you haven't addressed your wounds,
yes,
you can't show up fully for me.
Yes, accept.
And how deep can the connection really go if you don't have the deep connection with yourself?
Also true. You know,
so
the
that's
only
the part
though?
Is like women can sense that wall, that barrier. We can sense it. And it will. And the longer you stay in a relationship where that barrier and that wall exists,
yes,
the more the distance grows and grows and grows and grows.
I agree. I 100%. I just think the other part to that, all of that is true, right? But you're also self-actualized. You actually understand these things.
Yeah.
And there are
sucks sometimes.
Plenty of I just think there's plenty of both men and women that don't. Right? Like shit. Getting a dude to therapy is like, you know, impossible. They're not gonna go, right? Like they're like, I can deal with that on my own.
Yep.
It is a two-way street, right? Like women need to go spend some time, right, dealing with some of their stuff too.
That's my full-time job.
And so I think my mom was a social worker. And so when I told her that I had started therapy, it was like, she's also Catholic. She's like, oh my God, Miko. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Like I think she never thought I would go do the work. And I think enough, to your point, enough men do not do it.
Yeah.
And more should.
Are you still in therapy?
I go every 2 weeks.
Good for you. Yeah. What are you working on right now, if you don't mind sharing?
All these things I told you, like, I know it just, it doesn't turn overnight. And again, I'm not a bad dude. I'm not like a terrible guy. I don't do awful things, but I also.
You wouldn't be here if you were.
Fair enough.
We only allow divine masculines on the couch.
I wasn't being a good friend. I wasn't being a good family member. There were just parts of my life that I just started hiding. And again, it wasn't like it was like drug use or anything. You know, it wasn't like these heavy things you look back on and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, your life is good. Do
you think men struggle with self-acceptance and self-love?
Yeah, for sure. But don't
I think so too. I think so too. And I think that's a lot of the disconnect is they lack confidence in themselves. And like, we can feel that.
I think it's different, right? Like, it's just, we look at it so different, right? Like women deal with the same things, right?
Yeah.
Like I always believe we both have both men and women have body dysmorphia, except I always think I look fitter than I actually do, and you always think you don't. And so like somewhere in the middle, it's like people meet, but I think that's always true, right? Like men have the self-confidence in the wrong things, and women have self-confidence in the wrong things, right? Like it's weird, the things that we think we should and shouldn't be confident in. And then the things that we should be confident are the things that like we're the most paranoid about, we're the most like upset about, we're the most like worried about. And it's because of that worry that it drives us to be good in those moments. And so we think we're like not a great mom, and you're the baddest ass mom, right?
The baddest ass mom. You can ask anybody. Number one mom.
And we can talk about that kind of stuff all day long. That's what people feel and how they think, where they are and aren't confident is, I mean, that's everything, honestly.
Okay, so at dinner the other night, you shared with me a little bit about what the future might look like for you, at least the dreaming you've started to do about what the future might look like. And you've been mulling over sort of some plans. And you were explaining to me it looks a little different than maybe you had envisioned prior to your awakening. So who are you becoming now?
This one's hard, right? Because I'm in it. This is silly, but I'm like, I don't want to work. I never wanted to work. I don't want to work now. And not like because I'm lazy. We should be able to follow our passions.
Yes, we should.
And most of our passions do not make money, right?
Right.
And so
the system entrapment.
Yeah. And so I put my head down and I worked really hard, and I did pretty good stuff. And my brother said to me the other day, hey, I don't want to work anymore. I want to retire. And I was laughing, and we were talking about it. And this is since talking to you, actually, I think. And so I did a count. I'd never done a count of my accounts. I just knew there was money over there, right?
You didn't know how much money was in your accounts?
I don't worry about it.
I call that in. I claim that. I want to be that wealthy. I don't have to check my bank account.
No, I mean like.
Claim that.
You make a certain amount. Listen, you make a certain amount of money. I'll tell you mine. And then I go, I don't trust myself to do right by it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to max out my 401k, and I'm going to put X amount of dollars into investments. And then everything that's left over, I can do with whatever I want. If I already put away my like worst case scenario, I got Social Security, I got a 401k, and I got a couple of investments that worked out. And so I'm like, hopefully that's enough money. And my dad died at 58. I'm like, I'm going to live, dude.
58?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I was 30. So I'm like, I'm going to travel. I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to work from home. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I've curated my life to live. And so my brother's like, hey, I want to retire. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. And so I went and started counting. And I was like, oh shit. Like I have way more money than I thought. Not like by a little bit. I'm like, how did I get here? Right? Poor kid from the valley. And then I'm like, wait, I am for sure I can retire at 62. 100%.
Which is like sadly unheard of now.
And that's not, and that's
if you
hard.
get to retire at all. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I actually want to retire. Most people want to work. They like working, right? They find fulfillment in it. And I did find fulfillment in it, but I don't want to work. Like I want to read. I want to learn how to ride a unicycle. I want to learn another language. I want to go.
Well, and you mentioned moving, right?
Yeah. I mean, but that's
Tell
my
us
point.
where you want to go.
Yes. I want to do all those things.
Where are you going to go?
I'm about to get there.
Okay.
I'm just telling you the stories that I started thinking about, like, can I actually make this happen? Then I'm like, holy shit, if I really want to make this happen, I can actually retire at 55. Right? Like if I take the next couple of years and I just do these 3 or 4 things, like I can actually be done at 55. But my brother wants to be done like now. So I'm like, oh, can I do it at 50? Like, what would it take for me to do it at 50? And so what came from that was like, how can you live the lifestyle you want to live and still live, but not with this much money as you need, right? And so that's where I was like, oh, you can move to Southeast Asia, right? You can move to Vietnam. You can go to Thailand. And those places, first off, have magnificent birds. I love the birds. But they also have beauty and hiking and greenery. And it's the old world mixed with the new world. You have temples sitting next to skyscrapers. I mean, just like really like contrasting beautiful shit.
Yeah. Humanity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like, wow. And so I've started to create this life where I'm like, wait, I think I can live 6 months in Southeast Asia. I got to get back to see my family. I can do 3 months in Mexico and 3 months in the States. So I started kind of working out the budgets and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I think I can like be done pretty quick here.
Wow.
I don't really tell a lot of people that.
Yeah.
This one, it sounds fucking weird.
I think it's beautiful.
But mostly it's because like, I'm sure my employees and stuff are like, you fucking leaving?
If anybody who says that's weird is projecting their disappointment in their own life onto you.
If I tell
let
people,
them take a walk.
I tell people like, what are you gonna do in Thailand? I'm like everything.
Why are people so close-minded? They live in such mental constructs.
Here's the other thing.
Life is meant to be magic.
Yeah,
and nothing less.
I scuba dive, so like I want to be in Southeast Asia. You can bounce around Southeast Asia for like $100 flights. I'm like, this is the bomb. I'll do this.
Yeah.
So where is it going? I don't know. I think a little bit of luck. I think I can legitimately be done at 52.
And how much of your soul searching do you think pointed you in this direction of sort of the next chapter of life and what that looks like?
No, it's not that. It's the dream. It's the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's the very first question you asked me.
Mm-hmm.
What were my dreams?
Mm-hmm.
But now that I think about it, I always had the dream to wander. I always had the dream to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In fact, now that I think about it, when I graduated high school, me and my friend, my best friend's ex-wife, we were buddies. We wrote this list of like all these places we wanted to go to. I don't know if I can find it. I'm going to try. But I've always had that dream. I've always wanted to wander. And I think responsibility to family, responsibility to my mom, making sure like everything was good. Like I don't think I thought it was doable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now I think that I can do it.
Hmm.
No, not I can. I will. Yeah, I will do it.
It is done.
It's getting done.
It is done. And so it shall be.
Yeah.
It is finished. That's what he meant. Now that we've talked a little bit about the divide between the masculine and feminine, what do you think men and women need to do to close that gap and build a better understanding, mutual understanding and level of trust with each other?
I don't know, man. We live in a world with everything's an option, right? And the thing that you're talking about is really problematic for young men.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know the answer, right? Because how do we get better or whatever? But women are going to college. Women are getting educated. Men are dropping out in droves, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
That's not like a how do we solve it thing. That's scary. If you look at the stats, I swear it's something like men over 18. I think like a third of them don't work.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild too.
Yeah, I've been working since I started babysitting at 12, right? Like I've had a job since I was like a formal job since I was 15.
Look at dental as a microcosm of the things that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
It used to be run, the dentists were men, but they're not anymore. Now the dentists are women.
The majority of my clients are women.
Overwhelmingly, they're becoming women, right? As the men retire, dental is being taken over by the women, which is not a bad thing, right? Because it has always been a women-based marketplace.
Yeah.
Your office managers were women, your hygienists, your largely, right? Obviously not your assistants, your revenue cycle, your administrators, largely women. I mean, you go to any dental website and it's a picture of one old white dude in the middle surrounded by 20 women, right?
Not anymore.
But not anymore.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it at the executive levels too.
Yeah.
Right? You're seeing, so I think that thing you're saying about the change and toxic masculinity, all of that stuff is changing, I think, from like an opportunity, workplace, societal place. You're seeing, right, women lift, I don't know if they lift each other, but you're seeing women lift and move up the ranks. But it is curious like how that affects men and what it'll do to men. Because I think what we're seeing is instead of men standing up and rising to the occasion, they're collectively and generally speaking getting mad and throwing a fucking tantrum.
Absolutely, 100%.
And so that's the crazy
like that
stuff.
Male loneliness epidemic. It's like, you know, Chelsea, my social media manager, her and I, she's a single mom too, and her and I had this conversation the other day where we talked about the disparity. Why is there this disconnect? Why is this, all the women are like ready, healed, whole, let's go. And we cannot find men that match that. And so we were having this conversation, and her point was spectacular. She said, think about the evolution of women, like you're talking about, over the course of the last few decades. We have risen. I can check every box a man can, aside from being a man, right? Like I still want a man in my life. I still want a partner to build an empire with. I still want to feel safe. I want to be led. I want a masculine man to lead me. I want to be taken care of. That's right. Yes, I want to submit, and not in a like, I got you, let me lower my value or be a doormat kind of way, but in a, yes, for once, can I be safe and turn my brain off, right? And what she essentially said is like, we've been evolving and rising, and we make as much money as you know. And we also run the household. And guess what? I take my trash to the curb every week, except for sometimes when I forget, and then it sucks. But for the most part, I take my trash to the curb every week, right? And it's like, we're doing these things.
Still spoiling those boys.
I'm spoiling no, my boys. That's right. They do that a lot. Yes. Hudson, make sure to always put the trash by the curb. Yes.
I mean, part of the problem is we don't have a place to socialize. And it's hard today. It was hard 20 years ago. You take 6 great women out there sitting around. By the way, you're eating lunch together. What a magnificent thing.
Aren't they amazing? Don't make me cry. They're so amazing. It's such a magical place here.
But you take them to a bar, that is an impossible thing to walk up to, right? Like that is like an impossible thing to be like, I'm going to go and try to break that flock. Everyone here is going to be like, no, sir.
Oh, I'll be the first one in your face. Like,
that's exactly right.
Don't step at my girls.
Yeah. So how?
Excuse me.
So again, go back to the question. Do we have a men problem? I think we do.
And I'm not saying it's only men's problem.
Agreed. I think we're just from that.
Some of it's perception.
Yeah, from that positioning, like there is a men loneliness problem. I think you've read about it everywhere, but I would just go back to the question, which is like, how do we interact?
Well, and I think on the women's side is we do not trust men right now. I don't. You know,
I don't think women ever have.
Oh no, I think it's really bad right now.
Do you? I mean, I'm not saying it might not be worse, but I'm sure it's worse. I'm not a woman, so I won't pretend, but no, I guess you're right. I guess it probably is worse.
So I think for women, it's a trust thing. And I think, you know, maybe for men, it's the intimidation of where women are now, which was your point at dinner.
But again, doesn't it go back to like, we don't spend time together anymore?
Maybe.
Right? Like the only way.
But I don't know. Like if I was.
Like the only way you used to meet someone was through family and friends.
Yeah.
It's easy to trust someone when you go, hey, meet my buddy Carl. Right. You're like, well, if Carl likes Eric, Eric's not going to hook me up with a bad guy.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
But like, I'm a single dude and I've done okay.
Yeah.
I'm like relatively successful.
Yeah.
You know, I've traveled to a couple of places. Yeah. No one's ever said, hey, you should meet my friend. Like no one's ever come to me and been like, hey, you should meet Jill. Right? Like probably they're like, cause he's in Thailand, but do you know what I mean? Like we don't even introduce people to each other if you think about it. So, I mean, I'd still go back to the question of like, how do we interact? How do we, how can we even put ourselves in a better position to communicate, to hang out, to spend time together?
Yeah. Well, and I think with that technology disconnect and like the siloed aspect of what you're talking about, we've forgotten human dignity. Like baseline human decency. Everything's transactional now. And so women are transactional. And so we're treated that way. And so we feel that way. And then we respond with, I don't want to be treated, so materialistically, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've definitely amplified it.
Like, why can't you respond to texts? Why can't you provide clear communication? Why can't you? It's things like that. We are asking for baseline respect. It's not even like, we don't even ask for flowers anymore. That's how low the bar is in hell.
Flowers are fun.
No, we love flowers, but it's just like, we're happy if we get a text back now, or, a date, or like, of all the first dates I went on, only like a couple guys actually pulled my chair out or opened my door or came to pick me up. And it's like, chivalry is dead.
Oh, that's probably mostly true. I think that's true.
100% true. What do you expect when you're dumpster diving, right?
Yeah,
like, I'm literally dumpster diving in these apps.
I mean, I guess that's fair too. Like,
I'm like, maybe I'll find a treasure.
You're the one that calls it leftovers and you keep reheating it. I mean, that's on you.
Oh my God. I don't even use a microwave in my house because I'm scared of radiation. But here I am, microwaving the leftovers on these apps.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Those dudes radiate trouble. You're just like, I'll take 2 scoops.
Yeah, they're trouble. So at dinner, other than discovering we had a mutual obsession of bird watching.
Yeah.
Okay. We also both are like enthralled with music.
Yes.
We talked a lot about that. Like, music is life to me. And I am the least musical person. My singing murders. Like, You'll die if I sing in front of you. And I don't have a musical bone in my body except for dancing. I'm a really good dancer. But other than that, it's just enjoying music.
Sure.
Like, to me, it is lifeblood. Is there a song to you that really sort of encapsulates where you are in your becoming right now?
There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Riley Green is?
Yeah.
He's a country singer.
Yes.
And
I think most women
the
know
ladies
who Riley
love
Green
him
is.
because he's super hot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, empirically hot. He has some really, really cool songs. And one of his, I'm telling you a story. I don't know that this is where I am today, but he has this song called Pick a Place. And it's basically like, hey, tell me where to be and I'll show up. I got you type of thing.
Yeah.
I think where I'm at right now in my new world is that, like, I used to go, and a lot of that going, as I said, was like performative.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of in my pick a place moment right now. And I said this earlier in a certain way, like, sometimes I think I lucked into this life. I'm not saying I didn't work hard. I think people don't talk enough about how much luck plays into success. I've been very lucky. But whatever I pick next, I want to be intentional with it. I got into sales because it was the quickest way to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then I was good at it. You know what I mean? And I grew a business and I sold it to HS1. Not alone. Everyone always says, you didn't sell it. We sold it to HS1. And I knew that the next thing that I wanted to do was to take a company from zero to, like, growth. And I accomplished that. Like, we have a thriving, surviving business.
It's been amazing to watch.
And I did pick this place, but for many of us, I don't think I'm alone. Like, we don't really pick our life. We don't really make that decision. There's a series of events that puts us in a place, and then our life evolves from those decisions. And so I want to make sure that I pick my next place, and that the next part of my journey is all me. And I remember being a kid and hearing of these people who like at 50, they like went to college and got a new job or their new career started or right. You know what I mean? And so that gives me hope that like I can just fucking shed it all and go do something else.
Yes, you can.
And so right now I'm working on picking that place and then showing up for myself.
That was a great answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely beautiful. Loved it. Eric, thank you for being here and sharing some really vulnerable stuff with our audience. Yeah, I think the conversation is going to land for a lot of people, for sure. And I hope it sparks at least some awareness in somebody in the audience.
I appreciate you having me. That was fun.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.